Hello and welcome to Naturally Timeless Photography. My name is Rich, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use the Develop tool and the masking tool, at least part of it, within Luminar NEO. So let's get started. So the photo you see here is one I took a couple of days ago at the beach here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm wanting to make a silhouette photo out of this, have the sky lit up, the front ground and the foreground kind of lit up more so than the vehicle here. So I want the vehicle to kind of be the silhouette aspect of the photo. I prefer to edit my photos rather than letting this AI software do it, so that's what we're going to do here. I kind of play around with the AI just for the fun of it, but as a professional photographer, I don't want fake photos out there of mine. I want authentic works of art that I create. So, that's what we're going to do here. We're going to be using the Develop tool. So to find that, we come down to Essentials, and just below it is Develop. We're going to left click that. And then here we have different adjustments that we could add within the Develop tool. But before we do any of that, we're going to go over to masking. So left click masking, and that gives us a few different options. Again, like I said, I don't use the AI. I like doing things manually. And I tried using the gradient tool, just drawing a line across and doing half of the photo. But because of where the vehicle is, it kind of defeated the purpose. It was just not working 100%. That would technically be kind of easier to do within a landscape photo, but for this one I'm going to use the brush tool, and that's what we're going to stick with today, is just the brush tool in the masking. So I'm going to left click that, and then we could change the size of our brush by left clicking and holding and sliding this bar back and forth. Otherwise, we can click on Shift and then use the scroll button on the mouse to increase the brush size if we're anywhere in the photo. That makes it a little quicker instead of having to come back here every time we need to adjust the brush. Also, you can change the softness and strength. For this, I'm just leaving it at 100% for both of those. So now I'm just going to left click and hold and drag my mouse across the screen, making sure I get every section of the photo that I want selected. And I'm not going to go too low here because I'm going to end up having to do a lot more touch-up, so I'm just going to kind of keep away from that. And then I'm going to left click and hold the Shift button, scroll down, and then I'm going to finish up doing a little closer touch up to this, and that way I'm not going over the vehicle. And I do see that I'm kind of going over some of the water, so we could always go to Erase, left click that, and then come down here, just left click and hold, and then come up and just kind of brush over to clean that up a little bit so we have a little better edge. And then make sure the car is uncovered, and then just go over. I do notice right around here there was some parts that were not covered, so I'm going to just kind of come over that again, and that looks better. And there we go. So now that everything is selected according to the way I prefer, I'm just going to come back to Adjustments. And now if we move this over, you can see everything that is touched up. And not everything around here is covered, but that's okay. The tool is kind of a gradient still. The edges are kind of a little feathered around there, so it's fine. It looks good with the final product. So this, I think the exposure is fine. I might adjust that a little better otherwise, but if you do have your exposure or any of these settings adjusted to where you don't want it and you want to go back to 0, just double tap the circle and it will go back to the original starting point. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is the smart contrast. I'm just going to left click and drag that from one side to the other, see what I would like. So I prefer going to the right with this photo. It's giving me better detail and stuff, especially up here in this section of the sky. This is a little bright for me, but we'll see what we can do with that. Try to get it, in the center where it's not too bright on the bottom, but yet I'm getting some good effects in the clouds above. So that looks alright. We'll go try highlights. And I mean, it's just trial and error. You go back and forth and see what looks best to your own eye. And I like going this way. Just kind of go down a little. That looks good. Shadows, we'll see what happens. Not too... Ooh, okay, so here is an issue I see. I got a couple of dust spots right here. They're not too visible if I lower the highlights. Problem is because I already am in the middle of editing, I will have to take care of that later. Actually, there's 4 spots that I can see. So we'll just go down with the highlight. Oh, that was good. Where is that? And shadows is what I was dealing with. So shadows, I kind of like it around there. That looks decent to me. Now I was going to go into the color and sharpness. We'll do some of the color editing. Mostly I like playing with the vibrance, depending on the photo. You could do saturation, but obviously that's overdoing it. But I have seen some people like way overdo their photos where they look fake. If you're kind of going for more artsy, you could add something like that. Change the color of your sky and make it look like there's a really cool sunset with different colors. But personally, I don't know, I think temperature is better a little lower even. Get rid of some of that orange. The orange is nice, but sometimes it looks overdone and kind of makes the photo look a little fake. There's nothing like seeing the sunset and sunrise in person. Trying to duplicate it with photos, it never does it justice. Again, vibrance. I think I'm going to go a little lower with that as well. Just kind of get rid of a little bit of the orange and make it a little more natural looking. Alright, so looks okay to me. And sharpness, we always like bumping that up quite high, and then I take it down a little bit, just see what it does. Okay, and I can still see a couple of the spots, so I'll show you how to get rid of that as well after we're done here. So I think I'm good with everything that is showing. Now, in order to continue editing this using the developing tool, if I adjust anything else, it's just going to adjust the part that I masked. I won't be able to do anything with the vehicle or anything at the moment. So the way I can do that is we left click develop. It closes it down, open it back up, and now we can start editing the whole photo again. And we're going to apply a new mask, and we're going to use the brush tool for that, and we're going to use it over the vehicle. Now if I don't touch anything on the keyboard, I can use my scroll button on the mouse to zoom in and out. Excuse me. And then I can use my mouse, I believe, or the space bar. Select that. It allows me to drag the photo while I left click and hold the mouse. So I'm going to center that. And my brush is okay for now. We're just going to left click and paint over the vehicle. Try not to get too close to the edges. We'll shrink the brush up for that and fine tune it in a minute. Okay, got most of it. And now I'm going to left click the shift button and scroll downwards and start painting again. And I'm just doing everything really quickly in this edit. I'm not taking as much time as I might, you know, if I was doing this on my own just for an actual edit. Since I'm doing a tutorial, I do go a little quicker so I don't, you know, bug you guys too much by taking my sweet time with this. But okay, and then I'll probably just shrink up my mouse a little more and then go over some of these areas again just to make sure I get everything that I wish, and make sure I get all the tire, at least the majority of it. Same with this one, get a little more of this. I do tend to be a perfectionist though, so I hate leaving stuff undone within the photo, so that I probably am taking longer than others might. Okay, and let's see there. I'm going to try shrinking it a little more. Nope, that's it. So I could zoom in on the photo, and then I could erase in between here. So sometimes you might have to do that where you've already made your brush as small as you possibly could, but if you zoom in on the photo, you can get even tighter into the area. And get rid of unwanted things. And then we're going to paint again just to touch up this. Alright, so that's good enough. And now we're going to go back to the adjustments. And now I could change the exposure of the vehicle and make it even darker. We could use the contrast tool as well, which I think I'm going to go to brighten up the exposure and then use the contrast tool to make everything darker. Do the same with highlights because we want it as dark as possible. Highlights doesn't seem to do much. We'll go to shadowing. Obviously that'll do something, and then we'll go to exposure and turn that all the way down. Now the vehicle is pretty much solid, so we're good to go with that. We could also do this, and let's turn the exposure back up, and we're gonna okay. So we'll do that. Don't want to take away too much, and then we could drop the exposure back down. Alright, so that looks good. I don't know, it's more of an art project for me, and I don't know, it looks alright. There's a couple of things that I might tweak a little here and there, but for the most part that is kind of what I was going for. I wanted more of a silhouette with the vehicle and stuff. I mean, this is just a photo I grabbed out of many that I have. There's some better ones that I plan on taking my time editing. But this is just kind of a idea I had to do with a photo art project that I was working on, or a concept I was thinking and working on. So now we're going to just close down Develop, and now we're going to go to the Eraser tool because I want to get rid of the spots that I see here. There's one here, one here. I know there was 4 of them, so let's see if we can find them. This is kind of where AI software might come in handy. So if we left click on Erase, we could come down here to Object Removal. So we could left click Remove Dust and see if it works. So there's one there, and there, and there's a 4th one right here. So I could see all of them. Let's see if it gets rid of any of them. And just left click that, let the AI software do its work. See, this is kind of, I don't mind using AI software for stuff like this. It's kind of, helpful. I think it might have worked. Let's see. So if we want to check what it did, we just left click the eye and hold it down. And okay, I do see it took away 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them. Yes, it did actually work pretty well. It took away all 4 of the dots. And see if it changed anything else. Nope, everything looks good. So now that we're done with that, we just left click Erase. It brings us back to the menus here. Okay, that's all I wanted to show you today. Hopefully it was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.